I have a couple of computers that have unusual Windows 11 upgrade circumstances. That's one of them. That's also Windows 11. Well, we're going to swap that out for a different computer, actually, not upgrade it. And yes, a problem that have not come across before. At the moment, I don't know what the fix is. I'm sure I
DougBot said,
can
hey,
figure it
is
out.
this thing on?
Let's see, that speaker bot worked, and I'll listen to my own audio. That worked, so everything's good there. And I have a package that came in from Kerry Holzman. Apparently, it's a CPU, I guess. And oh, let's see, I got some things in email that are of interest, as well as the other things, to Windows support providers. I'm still getting used to that. It's not a term that's used anywhere else that I know of. But I was figuring out, I don't really want my channel to be focused to IT pros because that's a much broader category than what I do in my business. What I do in my business, the best way that I could come up with it is Windows support. Now you could say professional, but I want the channel to also cater to non-professionals, people who provide support for Windows users for appreciation, in exchange for appreciation rather than money. And because there's a lot of smart people out there that would be of not only benefit from this channel, but benefit to this channel. And it's very much an environment where we can learn from each other. And that's why I on purpose, I have not researched this new Windows 11 block that otherwise I thought the computer was completely capable of it. I have mentioned this new client a couple of times. They have 3 custom built computers like this. They are not identical triplets. There's differences. I think they're all the same case, but apparently they have different parts. Then in the title, I said brief demonetization. Let's do this. Brief demonetization appeal success story at the start. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time on that because that's not really Windows support provider food or addiction substance. But I do want to document the journey here, and I wish I've seen other content creators that apparently, when I go back and try to find their videos about their demonetization experience, they're gone. So anyway, I got this email on the same day that I sent my appeal video. It says, we're happy to share that your YouTube partner program appeal was successful and your channel can now monetize again. Our team carefully reviewed both your content and your video appeal. Your appeal helped us to better understand how you create your videos, your content strategy, and your channel's brand. Thanks for submitting an appeal and for your patience while we reviewed it. It took 4 hours. We realized this was extra work for you, and we appreciate your help in improving your processes. It kind of felt like that was a little bit of a response to a comment that I made at the end of the video about resenting the time that I have to take to do this when I'm innocent. And I made the case that I'm innocent. I went through all their specific criteria on, what did they call it? Reused content was their main complaint to me. But under that heading, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they have published, and I go through that in this video. Now, in the description, I'll get to that in a moment there. In the description of this video, there's a paragraph right near the beginning that says, if you'd like to see that video, my appeal video, you can ask for it by email and I'll send you a link to it. It's unpublished video. I'm never going to make that public because that's not what my channel is about. I don't want to get viewers that are interested just in that subject. So that last read chat was from Selden Ball. He says, I saw no ad at the beginning of the live stream. I used to see them before demonetization. Okay. Now I don't know that pre-roll ads are always going to show, but as far as I'm aware of how I have this one configured, it It's configured the same as previous. I had a few extra things that I only discovered this morning. I had to go back and re-enable super chats because, yeah, they monetized again, but they left all of my videos demonetized. So I have to go back and manually monetize them. And then also the super chats and super stickers and all that kind of stuff is turned off. I only discovered that this morning. Okay, I think that's all on that subject. Now, oh, and I have pictures. I have pictures of the computers actually in this client's office. I'm going to take a quick run through the chat room. Tony Wallow starts out by clicking that thing on the dollar symbol, or he can, I don't think it shows up for me, but there's super stickers, super chat, and then the next one under it is where I think it's just once every couple weeks or every month or something like that. You can announce your membership status. Tony Wallow, hello. Ken Stout, RMC, is that Robert? Not sure. That's Darren. Gil Holm, hello, Mr. Book. Tony Wallow, hello. Rick Lakes. John Williams, hello. I'm trying not to miss somebody, but my eyes scroll through. His Coolness, I can't remember his name right now. I would know it in a multiple choice, I believe. When I saw this one before the show ran, I saw hello, and then right under that, I saw Mr. Holzman. I thought, oh, is Carrie already in chat before the show? That's unusual. Then I had to go back and read it closer. Baldy, that's Brian. John Williams, I think I already said. Randy Israel, lives in Israel. I don't know if Israel is his last name or not. Phil Stodd, Selden Ball, Doug Bott. That guy's always here. Such a turd. Phil Stodd already got. Brian Ben Laird is in green because he's a member and not a moderator.
Read chat, please.
I think I recognize the name Ben Laird. It's not going to be long for you to become a moderator. Just see a little bit more from you. Rand Israel says both on, yes, on both counts. So Israel is his last name and he lives in Israel. Awesome. No intro. And Arnold, Albert, hello. Scott, hello. Domain 2000, hello. Chris Garrett, I'm looking at names at the moment. I'm not really reading what's said. So if you're trying to address me, use the exclamation mark C. That orange just kind of makes you stand out so that I can see that. Let's see, who else we got here? Greg M, hello. Okay, it skipped on me. All right, push the button down and then do this scroll. There's Greg M. Oh, looks even more jumpy. I'm going to be so glad when I get the time to refix this whole chat interaction the way I want it to be. Richard Rogers, hello. I just authorized somebody 10 minutes before showtime that I noticed that they had a comment on one of my videos asking for approval for the chat room. And that's how you get approval for the chat room. Just put a comment on any of my videos asking for approval for the chat room, something to that effect. And I will click that button. That means you can come into the chat room and interact. It's just a way of controlling, minimizing the trouble people. Sorry, we have to have that extra layer of protection. Edward Bass, hello. Richard Rogers. Zvi Manor, hello. Frosty Winnipeg. Jeff Ryman. There we go. Okay, so stories. Let's go. How about pictures first? Doesn't everybody like pictures? Show me the picture, man. I suppose that's insensitive. Can we not do any accents just for the fun of it? Anyway, whatever. My apologies. I'm still probably going to do it. But anyway, this is one of the computers. Okay, so now I said they're not quite triplets. That is obviously not identical case to this one. But this one is NZXT case. And right there is the same label. So it's the It's the same case, just different coloring. I'm going to hammer through these. And part of the reason why I'm doing show pictures is because I want to show what the real world environment is. It's not always clean and tidy. It's very rare that you find that. And things just evolve over time. This is a new client to me. Now this backup drive up here, I put that in. I connected that to a few of their computers. Let's go hammer through some. There's another angle, so it just changed color there. And then their BIOS. Now on this BIOS, do I need to point out anything here? I think at this point, no. Let's see, where's BIOS version? Okay, there's giving us the motherboard. MPG B550, Gaming Plus, MS7C 56. If somebody cares to, and the CPU, you might put that into chat so that we can reference back to it later. And when I checked, I found that this CPU is on the Windows 11 list. Then, oh, here, yeah, device support is, secure device support, TPM is disabled. So I go to enable that, and I just changed it to enable, and that worked fine for this computer. Now here, anytime you zoom in this close, it looks more grungy. It did not look quite that grungy, but this thing right here, I just want to point out, just as a little tip, I'm going to get her a new mouse pad. This whole piece is loose. It comes out of there real easily, but that is just, a lot of times, particularly owner of the business will just put up with things they shouldn't ought to have to. So I'm just going to give that to her. And then here, is this another computer or same one? Oh no, I enabled the TPM. So now I'm coming here to enable secure boot because we'll need that to do Windows 11. And then I've come across this before with these mini computers. I didn't know it was a thing in the custom build computers, but system in setup mode. Secure boot can be enabled when system in user mode. Repeat operation after enrolling platform key. Since I already knew how to do this, that was not a problem at all. So I had to change this secure boot mode to custom. I think if I go back here a couple tips, yeah, you see it's standard. And I can't even see this enroll all factory default keys. That's grayed out. I can't even get to it. So after changing to custom, then I can get down here to enroll all factory default keys. Answer yes that I want to enroll them. Now here, this question is a little bit non-intuitive. Reset without saving. And that says reset without saving. You say, wait a minute, what? Is that a choice? No, it's the title of this window. Think of that as a title, even though it's not at the top. Reset without saving, and then it has a question mark. Reset without saving, yes or no? You might, if you haven't been through this before, you might say, well, yeah, well, I want to say, wait, what would I say? You want to save, right? You want to reset. Does enrolling all factory keys, how do they word it? Factory default keys? Is that what reset means? My answer to this, the way I treat this is I answer no. I don't want to reset without saving because what reset does is it reboots the computer. Then you can come back in and do the next step. You don't have to do that. You can just stay in the BIOS to do the next step. So I answer no to this. And that keeps me in here. So then I'm able to enable secure boot, which that picture shows that it is done. Okay, was there anything else in here before we get out of BIOS? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a BIOS update available. Have not looked. And then here I'm taking pictures. I will, when I'm starting with a computer, particularly if I'm taking it away, I'll take pictures. I try to put things back in the same, even in the same USB ports. Sometimes it matters. When would it matter? Computers can detect devices in USB ports, Doug. It doesn't matter. Yeah, sometimes it does. Depending upon how much power a USB device is taking. The USB ports are all shared with usually one other USB port. So if you have two items connected to the same USB bus that are both drawing power, could be a problem. Also, if you plug into a different port, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to double check this, but I'm pretty sure that it actually installs a driver specifically for that USB port. And now you have an unused driver that if you go display hidden drivers, I think you'll find it in there. Not certain on that. But anyway, just for simplicity, I find it's better to just plug them back into the same ports. And it also makes sure that I get everything plugged in. And this is with the cover off for that computer, just to give me a quick, easy documentation. That's with a flash. And I'm taking a little bit closer up. Pictures inside. I'm not intending to do anything with this one, although there is a possibility I might have to put a larger drive in it. It's just, I think it's just under the threshold. In fact, yeah, because I tried there with my client to upgrade to Windows 11 and it failed on free drive space. So I'll be running a utility to see if there's something taking a massive amount of disk space and maybe move that.
Chat, please.
Maybe move that to the external drive that I just connected and then be able to do the upgrade in place. Undecided on that. That last read chat was from Selden Ball. Always using the same USB port can matter to some specialized application software. There you go is another reason for it. Like sometimes I get credit card readers and check scanners. I don't know if those
read chat, please.
Care about the USB part. Rand Israel says, on occasion I had cheap external hard drives forgetting their assigned drive letters and obtaining a new one when connected to a new port. Yeah, that could be a significant thing too. And definitely I recently talked about that, a new discovery about monitors. Monitors are hardware coded in the registry. So like if you have different resolution settings for one monitor than the other, and then you replace one of your monitors with another monitor, it will not automatically adopt those settings that you made for the prior monitor because it's a different hardware ID for that monitor. And that's also why if you try swapping cables around to switch which monitor is primary, that don't work because the registry remembers by hardware ID. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's the case for USB devices. They've got a USB a hub here. So I'd also want to be sure to connect that into the same port on the computer that it is currently, because if I plug that into a port that's shared with another device that's taking power, that could become an issue. If the computer's functioning now with everything connected the way it is, I want to maintain that. I don't want to run into an unneeded problem. You can see here that there is a DVI monitor and there is a HDMI monitor. Hey, Doug, couldn't that be a display port? Yeah, it could, but I find that's usually HDMI. I don't know, maybe people who know display adapters better than me know that, no, if you have a DVI, you're not going to have a display port. I don't know. I don't pay attention to things like that because I don't care. And then here's a VGA port on it as well. So I get a few different angles, like these two USB connectors here. I didn't look closely at the time to see whether they were going to be distinguishable in a video. These two are not distinguishable in a video, and they have the same kind of cable, which probably means that they're sister products or very similar products. I don't know what they are. The rest of these, by virtue of the plug that goes into the computer, you can often tell which is which. Now these two right here, this one and this one, they look pretty darn similar. And by virtue of where the cables go, I don't think I'm going to be able to tell that. So I don't worry about it too much. Now this is another computer. This is actually this computer right here. This one I took out of the office. And this is what they look like on top. Now, the reason, the first computer that I showed you is the boss's computer. It might need to have a new drive installed. I think it has like a 512 gigabyte drive and has 110 gigabytes free, which apparently is not quite enough. I did not leaf blow the first computer, Jeff Ryman asks, because I didn't take it out of there. I'm going to do that in the office. I think he was joking. So this will be, call it the number 2 computer. It is also out of drive space, but its drive is, what was it? Maybe 128 gigabyte drive or 256 gigabyte. I don't remember which, but it has so small amount of free space. Hey, Doug, how much free space does it have? Well, okay, glad you asked. I'll check. It has 1.47 gigabytes of free space. Anybody want to try installing Windows 11 upgrade with that? And it is failing a QuickBooks Enterprise upgrade with an error message that doesn't complain about drive space. As a matter of fact, when I tried to do that upgrade, the update for QuickBooks Enterprise 24, version 24, there with my client, and I read the messages. I read the message out loud, the way you saw me do. What did I do? Oh no, that was with my brothers last night. With AI, when it shows the messages, well, with Gemini, Google, you see the messages about what it is thinking about its thought processes. I find that fascinating. But anyway, with the QuickBooks update, it was showing what it was doing, and it said checking space available. And it kept running after that. So I figured, okay, it thinks there's enough space. But it failed. So after installing the larger drive, I'll try doing that QuickBooks update and see if that solves that problem. If not, then I move on to other solutions. Yeah, so there's another one of these drives that I just bought a few of them specifically for this purpose of doing a backup, image backup, before doing the Windows 11 upgrade. Let's see. For the boss's computer, what was that? Since it had an in-place upgrade and I was there, I went ahead and attempted it there. I don't always do the full image backup before doing an in-place upgrade. The in-place upgrade takes less time than the backup does. So it depends upon some circumstances about how recoverable is it if it goes wrong. If the Windows 11 upgrade doesn't work, it usually just rolls back anyway. And I've never had that fail to roll back properly. So John Williams says upgrade to at least 1 terabyte or M.2. That is an NVMe drive already in this computer, so it will be an NVMe drive 1 terabyte. Yeah. And then Brian says in chat, Windows error message, installation failed due to too much dust. Retry, clean, or implode. All right, I'm gonna hit Brian with a chuckle there. Let's see if I hit enter there, and then that one for LOL is the name of the button. Now, let's move on with the story. Have I told you yet why I brought this one up because the drive space is so low. How low can you go? Nope, that's not the button I meant to push. Okay, I gotta wait for that silly graphic thing over there before I can go back here. And I similarly took pictures of the back of it for the purpose of reconnecting everything where it came from. We've got a VGA and a DVI, it looks like. Nothing. So I get a few angles. And then here, now I had taken more pictures of the monitors. This is another thing that I do when I'm making changes is I'll take pictures of the desk at a distance. That helps me identify whose computer it is. Helps me identify which monitor has which icons on it, which monitor is primary. I deleted those from this list of photos because those reveal too much about the people. You know, I want to keep it reasonably anonymized. This one doesn't have any icons on it, so I put it in here to remind me to tell you that that is part of my process, to take pictures so that I have a record of where their monitors are. Because I've had times where I bring in, for instance, this computer up here is going to get a new B-Link computer, and it has 2 monitors. Well, I want to have the icons on the correct monitors, and the monitor that is set up as their main monitor means it has the system tray, and all of those icons is on the same side that they're accustomed to it. And then, oh, this computer here. It's from the reception desk. And it is not Windows 11 qualified, which everybody around here probably could have guessed that. Here's the back of the computer. Now, also when I do these pictures and showing these pictures, I preview them, and there's a little bit of a foggy area here. That's because there's a couple things there. There's a little bit identifiable. It wasn't identifiable for my client, but I just thought, that's a little too readable. So I used the what is it called? Designer, Microsoft Designer. When you go into Designer, I could do that on this one. Yeah, I could, because yeah, this isn't going to show the stuff that was there, because this has been saved as a JPG. Originally, these pictures were JPEG. So let's suppose if I want to take this guy out right here, that piece of paper, go into Designer. This is just so easy. I think it's as part of my Microsoft 365 subscription. I don't think it's a free. So then I click Erase, and see that ghost just travels through the picture. Now I can come down here to this image and just click on it. So now it's highlighted, and just click Erase. Kaboom. And it tries to replace it with what it thinks might be in that area, and it's working on it. This one's taken a little bit longer because of it's not a consistent area around it. And then I can save it with a different name. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back. Let's see, I'll click out of this, and I'm going to take that off screen just to be sure. Yeah, it just came right back to where I was at. And this is back because I didn't save it. Now, it was going to save it as a JPG, so it was going to be a separate file. Then here's more pictures of the connections. And this one is got VGA and a HDMI. And when I'm bringing a new computer in, I want to know what are the monitors connections available, because the B-Link computers are all HDMI. So here we got a Samsung on our left and a Dell on our right. When she's sitting at her desk, those sides are opposite, obviously. So this one's an HDMI, and this one over here has VGA. But what is available over here? So I take a closer picture of the connections on the monitors, and this is a picture. I just take my phone underneath. I don't go put my head underneath and look up. I just put the phone down, press the camera.
Read chat, please.
The front camera or back camera, whatever right word for that, and take a picture to see what's there. So that's got HDMI. That last read chat is Selden Ball. Free web-based access to Designer is available, but it is or was limited to 15 images per month and is very slow. You know, I saw that I had a amount of credits. It was telling me about my credits, and I don't know if that was, I've never bumped up to the limit, but I don't do a lot of that anyway. Thank you, Selden. And here, oh, yeah, this, where is this at? Where is this picture taken? I'll give you a minute to take some guesses where this photo was taken. It looks a little weird, doesn't it? That's a good time for a water break. Brian says Fresno. Ding, 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 winter chicken dinner. Not quite what I meant. Your car, ran Israel. Yeah, Phil Stodd. Oh, Greg M. Oh, yeah, that wasn't hard to guess. Greg and Phil and Rand. Zv. I'll say in your car. Ken Stout says in a sterile. Oh, what? I don't even know. He doesn't voice dictate, I don't think. Oh, in a sterile place. I didn't read the second line. In a sterile place. Yeah, Jeff, in between your car seats. Ben Laird, car. Ken Stout, no dust. Oh, is that why you're saying it? Now, at this point, I hadn't blown it off. It's this computer that's behind me. But the reason why I went back out to the car to take this picture, to explain that, I got to go to a future picture, another picture. But yeah, this is the rear seat in my car, and this is the back of the front passenger seat in my car. This computer, this shot explains why I did that. I needed to connect a backup drive to this computer. The front USB port is already occupied. It's occupied by this USB dock or hub or expander, whatever we want to call it, gadget. So I don't want to unplug that so I can plug the backup drive in here, because that's going to mean all of those other USB devices are not usable to her while I have my backup drive connected. So I need to backup connected to the back, but I can't get back here. Now I can't give you the picture of the whole desk scene, but this whole area here, I'm got my camera through like almost a peephole between the keyboard tray and the rest of this desk. It's not on wheels. It's got it's got wings to it, so I can't move it. Pulling that computer out towards the front is going to involve some other disassembly type stuff. I want a quick, easy connection. And I got to thinking, I wonder if the USB ports are on the back of that computer. I can't even get my head back there. There's no reasonable method to get my head back there. So that's why I went back out to the car and take a picture. Yes, indeed, there's USB ports, the back of it, but I had no idea if those were already occupied. So I reached my hand through the same place that I'm showing the camera going through and feel for the USB port. I already know which way to turn the USB plug in order to get it in. So boom, got it in, no problem. And then, so here is B550, MS7C 56, Ryzen 5 3600. See, that's not the same processor that we saw on the first one. I don't remember these very well, but this is a different computer. This is the third of these custom builds. Is it? No. Is that this one? No, this one's the third computer. I did not bring this one. This one I thought was going to be upgradable in place, that I would do it remotely. On the first computer I showed that I had to enable the security module and enable secure boot. So that one I may be upgrading it to Windows 11 remotely, possibly this weekend. if I find some huge amount of space that I can copy off, move to that external drive, and then do the upgrade in place, I may do that. Now, understand, one of my priorities is finding the lesser time-consuming ways to accomplish things. If I can free up enough space, and if that space doesn't need to go back onto that drive, no, I would not. I'm not going to upgrade her because I got too many other people waiting in line for their new computers. So if I can accomplish that first computer I showed you remotely, I'll do that. Then this computer, the third of the custom builds, I thought I was going to be able to do it remotely too. I just need to go into BIOS and enable secure boot. So I go into BIOS and I find this. What is wrong with this? Why am I going to have trouble with enabling secure boot? I'm going to give you, those of you who know, a chance. It shows up on this screen. What is the problem? It makes it time for a drink again. Water. Oh, yeah, Brian says, interesting, a case with glass side panels stuffed inside of an enclosed cabinet bay. All three of these, none of these were really visible. Yeah. Jeff Ryman says CSM. Scott says CSM. Wintermute says Windows 11 requires UEFI GPT. That's right. This piece right here, BIOS UEFI /CSM. Two different modes. You can be either UEFI or you can be CSM, which is Compatibility Service Module. Is that right? Somebody can give us that in chat. I'm sure the first word is compatibility. So I need to change from CSM to UEFI. Rand says yes. So I guess I got that. I nailed it. Nailed it. Compatibility Service Module mode. So I have to change that. Okay. Well, what's the problem, Doug? Just press that and change it. Now, I had already verified that the drive is GPT partition style. That would be a problem. You can't switch to UEFI and give me a couple of yeses in chat if I'm right about saying this right, because I'm pretty sure I am. You can't switch to UEFI if you have a MBR partition style. UEFI requires GPT. If you need or want or have MBR partition style, you're going to have to use CSM mode in order for that to work. Doman CMS mode, CSM mode, he meant. Not
yes, affirmative.
Always secure boot. Can see clear on small screen. LOL. Oh, over here. Select CSM or UEFI for running specify operating system support. No, that's not what he meant. What is he saying? CSM mode, not always secure boot. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. After changing from Phil Stodd says, after changing from CSM to UEFI, the existing drive will not be recognized. If it's MBR, I think if it's GPT, you might have to boot into safe mode and then restart again to get it. I may be wrong about that. But anyway, I wanted to try this and see, can I change it? Because this is where I found the surprise. Then, what do we got? Security device support, enable. I think I did switch it to UEFI. Did I not capture a picture of that? Or maybe I just came back and looked over here to see. Okay, so here. Oh, this is about to restart. Yeah, am I thinking the wrong computer here? This is changing from CSM to UEFI, secure boot from standard to custom, and CSM support from enable to disable. Okay. I'm obviously remembering this wrong. Oh, yeah, here's what it is. There is no GOP, graphics output protocol, support detected in this card. BIOS CSM UEFI mode settings in BIOS will be changed to CSM. So it's going to change it back. It's rejecting this change. I haven't researched this yet. And if you know what this is, you're welcome to go ahead and put it in chat. But I was going to just take a screenshot of this and see what the AI says. I was figuring that the graphics adapter in there in the computer is inadequate, which I didn't know that was a thing. See, Phil says something. AMD was using TPM built into the CPU on earlier generations of Ryzen. It was a confusing time. Oh, and that's another thing. Oh, Williams' office says that is right, Doug, about the graphics adapter. I think he's saying that's the wrong graphics adapter. But that brings me back to the CPU. Yeah, when I looked up compatible CPUs for Windows 11, I believe what it was is I found 3600, but with some suffix letters. And I did not find just the straight 3600 by itself. So I told my client that I can't confirm that that CPU is Windows 11 capable because it's not on the list. So then I told her, well, I'm just going to try installing the upgrade and see if it works. Yeah, this is just closer view of that same message. Okay, so now let's do Shift Windows S. And I'm just going to take this screenshot and go to Gemini. And I'm not going to give it any description. I'm just going to paste it right here and see if it senses or figures out what I'm probably trying to do. Let's close that, get that out of the way. Putting pictures into chat is such an advantage. There was, if you looked at my history there was something about crockpot. I took a bunch of ingredients I had in the fridge, put them out on the counter, and took a picture, and I pasted that into Gemini Google and said, what suggestions would you have for how I prepare this meal? And it came up with a great combination. I've also done my laundry products that way. Put all my laundry products out on the counter, take a picture of them, feed it into Gemini, and it gave me an inventory of all the products that I have. And then I asked it some questions. How do I do a particular load of laundry? AI is not just for technicians. Based on the image you provided, here's a breakdown of what this error means, how to solve it. Short answer, press F2 to continue. Generally the fastest and safe, well, now what did it say for F2? To continue. Which is not what I did. Your computer has detected that your graphics card is a bit older or using older firmware. Oh, that's right, maybe a firmware update, and is offering to automatically change the settings to a compatibility mode so the computer can boot normally. The technical explanation. Here's what's happening under the hood. What is GOP? Stands for Graphics Output Protocol. It's a modern driver standard used by UEFI, the modern version of BIOS, to display the boot logo and BIOS menus in high resolution. Yeah, because that's important for Windows 11. The conflict, your mother is currently set to use UEFI mode. No, it wasn't. We just switched to that, tried to. The modern standard. Well, I guess that means it is currently set to that. However, the graphics card installed in the system does not support GOP. So that, apparently this message came up during the restart. This usually happens because the graphics card is an older model, before 2013, 2014, and graphics card firmware is outdated. So maybe a firmware update for the card. The solution, CSM, because the card can't speak the modern GOP language, the motherboard needs to switch to CSM. This simulates older legacy environment, allows older hardware to function correctly. What happens when you press F2? The system will automatically change the BIOS from UEFI to CSM. Your computer will reboot. It should boot into Windows or your OS normally. You generally won't notice a difference in daily performance. Now, I said that I did not do F2. What I did was I did the F1 to go into setup, and then it was already, it had switched itself back to CSM mode. So I just saved and restarted, and it restarted fine. Important notes and caveats. Windows 11 combat. I didn't tell it that I was trying to upgrade to Windows 11. I just put the picture in, and it deduced from that picture. If you're trying to install or run Windows 11, this is a significant issue. Windows 11 officially requires secure boot, which requires UEFI mode. It figured out exactly what I was trying to do. If you enable CSM by pressing F2, secure boot will be disabled. If you intend to use Windows 11, you may need to update firmware on your graphics card or upgrade to a newer graphics card that supports UEFI natively. NVIDIA firmware update. If you have a newer card like NVIDIA such and such, and you're seeing this, NVIDIA released a firmware update tool to fix this exact GOP issue. Oh, how about that? So I might be able to do that remotely. Once you boot into Windows, you can Google NVIDIA Graphics Firmware Update Tool for DisplayPort 1.3, 1.4 to see if your card needs an update. Summary of options. Yeah, obvious. Would you like me to help find out if your specific graphics card has a firmware update available to fix this permanently? No, because we're going to move on to something else. Okay, so that is what I'm referring to as computer number 3. This computer, it has a 256 gigabyte drive, and it's in Crystal Disk Info shows it at 68% health. And
please.
being in Crystal Disk Info, I noticed they have a external drive connected that was in a warning state, according to Crystal Disk Info. So I'll be informing them of that. And that was due to high reallocated sectors. That last, it's got a neck spasm. Okay, probably need to slow down. Chill. That last read chat was John Williams. Many times the video graphics on the CPU is better than an old graphics card if the CPU has built-in graphics. Right? Well, you've seen what CPU that computer has. By the way, that picture was the last one in the set. I'll go back and show you that again in case somebody would be happy to research that. Oh, you know what? Watch this. Let's do another screenshot here. And I'll go paste that into Gemini. What motherboard and CPU does this computer have? Just because I don't want to type that out. I don't want to read it and then type it. And I can give it to you this way. I can just copy and paste into chat. That way you can copy and paste it into your Google search. Here we go. And because I have clipboard history turned on, Control-C that. Control-C that. Now I need to go off screen for a moment to check my clipboard history and be sure there's nothing. Of course, there's not going to be anything exposed because I've already done more than 3 copies during this session. Waiting for the button to finish. There we go. Okay, so then let's go back to chat. And there's the motherboard. And I'll just put that in separately. And then here's the CPU. So much easier than typing all that out. John Williams hit me in orange many times. Let's see. Oh, I already saw that one. Domain says, we're lazy, overloading the AI. Yes. Duh. Use the tools that you have at your fingertips. I use AI every chance that I get. I use copy paste every chance I get. I use keyboard shortcuts. I use Stream Deck. Use the tools. Use it or lose it. If you don't use everything that you have available as much as you can, then you don't get proficient. Absolutely. I'd rather use some tool, even if it doesn't improve the efficiency or performance much. It's still proficiency that you're increasing. And John Williams says, no CPU graphics IC. I wouldn't have, I figured it wouldn't have had CPU graphics because it's it. AMD doesn't do a lot of that, right? It's kind of unusual. Now, Domain is asking what GPU do we have there? That's not shown in BIOS, correct? I'd have to attach to it remotely to figure that out. My choice would be to use CPU Z. That would show it right, I think. I don't come across need very often to go looking for that. Oh, MS Info. Oh, wait a minute. I copied MS Info on that computer. Let's do this. Okay, so now, and here's a testament to signing your computers in with a Microsoft account or being signed in at least in the Microsoft 365 apps. So on Baby Beast, I just selected through all the text of MS Info, and I'll press Control C for copy, and then come over to Big Beast Build. Let's see, there's a limit to how long a chat message can be. So what I'll do is just open Word to a blank document, come over here and Control V paste, because Clipboard can synchronize, if you have it configured right, can synchronize between computers. I don't know if this main page shows the graphics adapter. Do you have to go to the one of the detail pages? I don't see it. Yeah, I think you have to go to one of the detail pages. Now I can connect to it during this show and bring that up. I'm kind of feeling like I want to do that. Yeah, no graphics there. Device manager would show. All right, yeah, right, that's right, that's right. You know what? I think because you guys are gonna help me answer this, so I don't have to go research it myself. And that certainly, this content certainly does promote addiction for Windows support providers. Yeah, I have both of these computers are reliably doing Log Me and Rescue these days, but I'm going to do it on Baby Beast. It'll take a little bit, just a little bit to get into that. Two-factor authentication to do. And I'll need to arrange the screen to not expose things. Now, last time I had Log Me and Rescue open was on my laptop. And sometimes, as in this time, I left a computer connected remotely. And this is another interesting story. So I need to not show that. Oh, it's actually that computer. It's actually that computer. I had configured all of their computers so that I could connect remotely to them, but I was having trouble connecting remotely to 3 of them. Now, I told you before, and I described this on the show that Carrie and I did a couple days ago, Thursday, that each of the computers logs in with a Windows user account, but it's the same account on each of them. One of them, there are 4, well, actually, it'd be 6 computers that do that. But on the server, I was able to, peer-to-peer server, I was able to connect remotely, even though there's that Microsoft account issue, using the Microsoft account password. But 3 of the computers I was not able to connect remotely to. So what I did on those computers is created a new local admin user account called DougBetts. And I was immediately able to connect remotely to those computers for 2 of them. For this computer, that technique did not even work. So I have an icon on each of the desktops called DougBetts Remote, where they can initiate a remote session. And I put that on all the computers that I set up for unattended remote, so that if the unattended portion of it gets broken for some reason, they can launch it on their side. So I launched that from their side yesterday, got the connection established between LogMe and Rescue and their computer, and just left it open. It's still open and active, and I can get to it right now. That I had forgotten that piece when I said I can connect remotely to it. I know I could not connect to that one unattended. The connection is already established. Okay, so then maximize that. I'm not going to show you the desktop icons. I could just turn off the display of desktop icons. That's a safe thing to do. So I'll right-click on the desktop, choose View, and then remove the check mark from the option that says Show Desktop Icons. So now it's a black screen. That computer has 2 monitors, so I'm taking a look at the other monitor. They're both showing up black. As I look at the icons on the bottom, they are not anything revealing. And there we go. So I can then punch over there. Yeah, black screen. Yay. So now Device Manager. One, I'm going to take it off screen to click on the Start button because I don't know what's going to show up on their menu. And let's, instead of popping back to my main camera, I'll pop back to chat room, because that way I don't have to wait for that silly button to finish. Okay, silly button, tricks are for kids. Right click on the Windows button, and of course that just gets us this menu displayed. And then go to Device Manager. And yeah, of course, nothing there, nothing that issue there. See, they could have had a computer name that would be the individual's name maybe, and I would want to blur that out. So display adapters. NVIDIA GT Force GT 630. I'm going to type this one. That way, if anybody is asking later, you can just say, do a Control F find for LWTDB, and you'll find whatever I put in to chat. So if somebody wants to go research that, that would be just great. Is there something else we want to see on this? I'm attached to it. Oh, bottom right corner. Did you see that? Here's another AI tip. Down here, ESET. They have a paid version of ESET on all of the computers. I haven't inventoried that, but I'm pretty sure it's on all of them. Although that computer number 1, when I walked up to it yesterday, it had a McAfee antivirus screen full open. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. we'll get around to that. But anyway, I want to get them off of ESET, but they had it on the server. Gray Wolf says too old for UEFI. So that graphics adapter too old for UEFI. So I could put in a new graphics adapter in that computer. It's almost simpler to just clone it to one of these mini computers, but I don't know. I'll wind up discussing that with her. Oh, by the way, this is all female office. 6 computers. One of them's a server. One of them works remotely. Nice people. I like them. Oh, a little more story. They were referred to me by another fairly new client. This other new client has been a referral engine. I think this was about the 4th referral in just a few months. This is his bookkeeper's office. I walk into their office on the first meeting, and we shake hands, and she says, your name is familiar. Your last name is familiar. There are other Bettses in Fresno, and do you have brothers? I said, yeah, I give her my brother's name. He said, oh, I do Bob's taxes. So and my dad's. She was doing income tax processing for my brother and my dad. Small world. Okay, I want to get to the ESET story. Let me contemplate for a moment how I want to bring this up. Yeah, I should go to the chat conversation. Is there anything in there? Okay, so I'm going to come here to Gemini and click the magnifying glass and type ESET. Not all AI chats have the search like that. Copilot does not. Yeah, because that makes sense. So then here is that conversation, I think. Now I'm going to take that off screen because if I did any pasting in there about my client's name, let's go. Okay, now that was generic. Oh, that wasn't the beginning because it took me to the end of it. So I got to scroll up and scroll up and scroll up. Each time I drag the scroll bar all the way up, then it reloads some earlier content. Drag it up, reloads earlier content. My conversations tend to get long. Yeah, so here's what I asked the AI. And I will often ask a question that I think I know the answer already, but I'll ask it like I don't. Will ESET antivirus prevent an in-place upgrade from Windows 10 Pro to Windows 11 Pro? Generally will not strictly prevent the start, won't prevent, and actually I did try to do that and didn't realize that ESET was there, and it failed because of ESET. It won't block the start of an in-place upgrade, provided you're running a recent version. However, having ESET installed during the upgrade is known to cause failures, rollbacks, or performance issues. So it actually tried to do the upgrade and failed and rolled back. So I ask a few questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to preview all this and see if I'm able to scroll through this without revealing anything. Because there are some interesting things here. I thought as I was doing one of these searches, I was thinking, oh, I got to not show that bit. I just don't know which one that was. I think this is all clean. But there's something I'm wanting to get to that was really, really useful. Oh, this thing's just so long. Okay, let's go try this. Will block specific installer, risks of keeping it installed, recommended procedure, if you must upgrade without uninstalling. Here I was showing something about the detections. ESATS claims to have found and cleaned 8 detections. How can I find out what they were? Because I knew I could find it, but shortcuts, easy button. Open log files, detection logs, review the details, check quarantine. On the screen, it appears to say detection 0 on that particular screen. So then it tells me to go to look at quarantine. So I go to quarantine, I find the items that were quarantined, and they were all on the same date. They were from a folder called Old Dell i7. Clearly, they were files that were copied from an old computer.
Read chat, please.
And it was just potentially unwanted program. In 2.5 years, that's all it found. Sam Lazar says, hi, I have sent an email to you. Okay, Sam, I'm probably going to ask you to remind me of that after I'm done with this topic. So I asked about what these are, and some of you already know that, and I kind of already knew it. Scrolling down, what is the role of the search protect folder? I'm asking. So I often will dig deeper in and expand my understanding of a subject. Peer-to-peer network, where this computer is a Windows 10 Pro server, and then they say based on your specific environment with no central administrator, because ESAT, it's a great program, but when there's no central administrator, nobody monitoring all the computers that are under your purview, you lose that whole benefit. It's just, to ESAT, this is just a workstation. It doesn't know it to be a server. It treats every file access as a potential threat from a local user, scanning aggressively. And they did tell me that the system seems a little sluggish. So I know that I'm going to be recommending that we drop this. So I asked him other things. I was curious about the word endpoint, how the AI would answer that. And then I wanted to identify the account information so that I could know how to cancel it. Now here I say, I want you to rewrite all of this wording from me to my client, explaining why this product is inappropriate to be installed on this computer and the harm it's causing to productivity, and making the recommendation to cancel the subscription and uninstall it. I don't know at this point who wanted it, who said it should be there. Sometimes there's, oh, it's my son that said I should have that. I don't want to drop that because it's my son and he'll find out. I have no idea who did. I don't know if it was her son. I kind of doubt it because I know that somebody else who built the computers that's no longer available was not her son. So here's, it gives me this write-up. And I did some tweaking of it, but this write-up is just so easy to copy and paste into the email. And this looks very professional without taking all the time to type it. So that's what I want to get to about the another benefit of the AI is to use it in communications with your client. You might need to tweak a little bit to make it in your voice, and some AIs can get to learn your voice. I don't do it often enough to bother with that at this point. Okay, now let's go. Am I reasonably through all of that? See, we know the graphics adapter is too old, so not even going to bother with looking for updates for that graphics adapter as far as firmware. That chat went on and on and on, but there's no reason to talk about the rest of that. Okay, so I'll go take a peek at Sam's email. I have some other emails lined up. So graphics, now that CPU, can somebody answer the CPU on that computer, that AMD, whatever, 3600 something, whatever it was, without any letters at the end of it? When I looked at the AMD approved list for Windows 11, I found some that had suffixes after that number, but I did not find that base number. If that base number is not on the approved list, then I don't want to buy a graphics adapter, put it in, and then find that it still doesn't work. So if somebody has insight on that or research, that would be very, very helpful. I'll go look. Sam has opened another support ticket for me. So funny how you do that, Sam. So there's one that tells me there's a ticket. This is how he tells me about his issue with a client. So there's two emails that came through. One is the actual problem. The other is just informing me about the ticket. So I'm going to position this. I have not read through it yet, but it does seem like, I'm not sure if it's a story or if it's a question. DougBetts submitted a new ticket to Sam Lazar Tech, requested that we copy you. If this message was sent in error, yeah. Ticket description. Had a client with a 10th gen.
Read chat, please.
i5. I see that winter mute. We'll get to that in a little bit. Is on the compatibility list. Had a client with a 10 gen i5, the CPU with G1 at the end. So it is low end. It was also manufactured by ASUS. i5, 10th gen. i5, 10th gen. So it's low end. Okay, but still should be Windows 11. He somehow lost Bluetooth. All right, 10th gen. All right. I could have tracked down drivers or replaced his Wi-Fi with Intel card with a Wi-Fi 7 card. Oh, you know what? That would not have been a way for Jim and Maggie because, yeah, they were a laptop. We couldn't put a card in it. And hoped it worked. I did the Wi-Fi 7 card, and his laptop now works again. And also his Wi-Fi is better. His laptop only has one antenna. Okay, I guess this is just a story. Thank you. And basically the takeaway from this is instead of spending a lot of time troubleshooting the Bluetooth, just replace it. So replaced his Wi-Fi 5 Intel card. It was actually a card. Okay, so that would have been that would have been just the little tiny Wi-Fi card that he replaced inside the computer, not a PCI Express card.
Read chat, please.
Oh, I think. Or is that just on? Oh, his laptop only has one. Oh, no, it's a laptop. And see, that says it's a laptop. See, Doug doesn't look, read, pay attention. One antenna. So is the card inside. Now, that's something that could have been done to Jim and Maggie, is to replace the card inside the laptop. But that's not the quick, easy, inexpensive fix. That last read chat was from Phil Stodd. It would be best to run the PC health check on that computer to help identify what existing hardware may work with Windows 11. Good point. Good point. And so then, was it Wintermute put in this link? 3600 is on the compatibility list. Okay. Now what I need is right click, open a new tab. See, even doing that, I should take it off screen because when I right clicked on that chat room, it brought me back to this Chrome instance. And if I had something else sitting here, that could expose something. So I need to take that additional step. Now he said 3600, but I said that off the top of my head. Was that the actual? If I search for LWTDB, was that the actual CPU? Is it still available in chat? Or is it scrolled past memory? Oh yeah, it's 3600. And then I'll do Control F, 3600. AMD Ryzen 5 3600. So apparently the list I got to was what? Why did I find something different? Windows 11 supported AMD processors. I think I remember pulling it up on this screen from my client's office. 3600. Oh, here. Oh, that's what happened. See, I got down to this area. I got these Ryzen 5, and these are in numerical order. I had no clue that the cards without suffixes were sorted up here. So this is doing a sort level, first by this column, second by this column, and the third sort order is by this column, but actually the extension. And then, or the suffix, probably better word than extension. And then when there are more than one item with the same extension, is that even a thing? Well, yeah, it is a thing, because like here's 4500U and 4600U. So they're in order strictly by the suffix, and then in order. No. All the ones that don't have suffixes are here. And now then they start a new order, the new lowest number that has an extension. So these are sorted by numbers that have extensions, regardless of what the extensions are. So they're in numerical order. And then when it's the same number, it's the
Red chat, please.
Extension order. Now that's what happened. All right.
Read chat, please.
Now I can safely do Alt-Tab and go straight over here to see the read chats. Zavi Manor, then ran Israel. Okay, so he's given me his Gemini Google. AMD CPU and letter means. The letters at the end of an AMD CPU model are suffixes. Okay, so suffix. I think that's the word I wind up settling on. That indicates specific features, intended use case, performance optimizations of the processor. These suffixes are varied depending upon whether a CPU is for a desktop or mobile platform. So is it safe to assume that if a CPU is on the list with a suffix, that it must also be there without a suffix? That the base level CPU must also be Windows 11. Is that safe? Here are the meanings. OG is integrated graphics. So somebody who already knew this would have seen the 3600 and said, nope, it doesn't have any integrated graphics. Okay. The absence means it's standard. Base model. So base. And I know I'm going to get to RANDs in just a moment here, but let's go throw some points there on V, and then go check RAND Israel. Probably mobile processors first and desktop processors later. Really, that's not my impression from that listing, because they looked like strictly numeric order. Is there another one? Okay, I'm going to finish on this thought first. The extensions, was one of those mobile? Just reading this column, I don't see that, so Control F, mobile. These suffixes vary depending upon whether the CPU is for desktop or mobile. Oh, this section is the, oh, these are all mobile. All right, I get it. So HX is for mobile.
Red chat, please.
I'm going to follow this through a moment. HX. So if I go do a search for an HX, so that's mobile, and this one would not be mobile. So the number takes priority over whether it's mobile or not. I'm deducing. Sam says, the second part of my email just explains a bit more. The story is that my client wanted Bluetooth and he lost it. I replaced the Wi-Fi card and fixed it. His Wi-Fi improved as a result. The second part of the email, I guess it just means this sentence here as being the second part, because there wasn't a second email. And I think maybe the moral of the story is just that he's saying that his Wi-Fi performance improved. And he also commented about having only one antenna. So just the card by itself improved the Wi-Fi, even though it was the same antenna. Maybe that's where that's going. Zvi Menorah, AMD CPU without suffix letter did not include integrated graphics. Agreed. That was my understanding, because the integrated graphics was one of those letters. So if it's any AMD CPU without a suffix letter does not include integrated graphics. Yeah, that's what I understood. My question about that was, if an AMD CPU is on the approved list with an extension, does it always mean that the base level CPU without any extensions at all must also be on the list? Seems to me that might be a thing, that it would never be the case that an extension would make an otherwise incapable CPU capable of Windows 11 approved. I would think. We got to get off of this AMD CPU approval thing, because that's quickly going to be a dead horse. Later AMD CPUs without the G may have integrated graphics. Oh, so that takes that away. That sounds like a disagreement there. Later AMD CPUs without the G may have integrated graphics without having to have an extension. And Rand says probably to one of those comments. Probably, meaning the dead horse idea. Probably, we're too long on that. This computer, what do I know about it? It has This is just so comical. These custom built computers with inadequate space.
Read chat,
this is
please.
number one with 512 gigabytes. Number two had 256 gigabytes. This old Dell computer has a 2.5-inch SSD, 1 terabyte. It's the reception computer. I'm guessing somewhere along the line something happened. They wanted to get an SSD in there to maybe make it faster and just put a 1 terabyte that was totally not needed. What do I know about the space utilized in that computer? Let's see. It has 672 gigabytes of 1 terabyte free. So using 300 gigabytes, that's surprisingly high for the reception computer. Now that last read chat. Phil Stodd, that applies to AM5 platform CPUs, about the base number having graphics. So it doesn't need an extension to have graphics. Yeah, rabbit.
Read chat, please.
Okay, you're going on. You're going on about this AMD. Yeah, Doug, because you showed that you were interested. That was fake, Doug. AMD processors for AM4 sockets. That's actually a different socket. G equals graphics, no extensions equals no graphics. AMD processors for AM5 sockets.
Read chat, please.
F equals no graphics. Oh, so you get an extension if you don't have graphics. No extensions, you have graphics. See, I always avoid AMD because I'm just comfortable in the Intel environment. You started it. I know. So I guess I can stop it. One of the techniques I'll use to stop it is to stop read chat messages that are still on that topic. Step away from the topic. This is an i5 7400. So missed it by that much. 8th gen would have been able to upgrade in place, right? It's an i5 7400. The plan there is clone it to a B-Link computer. So I clone it to the B-Link computer, install the B-Link, import the B-Link drivers, and then do an in-place upgrade to Windows 11. Now, it doesn't even matter. Hey, Doug, does it have Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro? Because doesn't that matter when you restore it to the B-Link? No, it does not. Crazy thing, a few shows back, I was a bit upset because B-Link computers started coming with Windows 11 Home on them. They had been Windows 11 Pro. I went back and forth with the company on that. Turns out, I don't know if the company even knows this. Turns out these B-Link computers will activate with the digital license with either Home or Pro. Just boom, slam dunk. No special work required. If I restore an image with Pro or Home, it's going to activate. So, well done, B-Link. Oh, Scott threw me there. He says to John, that Dell case looks nearly the same as the one I uploaded. I go, wow, you uploaded a Dell computer to the internet? And he clarifies, updated. I don't think I've missed any read chats. So is there anything else I need to say on that one? I don't think so. Now the monitors, when I bring the B-Link computer in, how will that clone restorer choose which monitor to set up as the main monitor? The registry is Actually, I think the registry will handle it because I'm restoring the registry from the original computer and the monitor still has the same hardware address. So I think it's automatically going to come up on the correct monitor with all the icons, all the programs, all the data, here's one of the problems with doing a fresh install is some people rely upon right-clicking the icon on the taskbar to see the recent files, and they have this file that they always use over and over. They have no clue where it's stored. They don't even know what the name of the file is. If you ask them when they're not looking at their computer, what's the name of that file? I don't know. I right-click on it and it's that one. I click that one and it's the one that I always use. So, man, it just eliminates so many things. Zavi Manor asks about the CPU box.
Read chat, please.
And Brian says, did you say earlier that you have some other emails to get to? Yes, I do. And half an hour. So we need to go get onto those stories now. But a package received from Carrie Holzman there to DougBetts, that's me. And apparently it's a CPU. Securely packed. On all sides with air. You know, air ride suspension systems, that's a thing, right? What do we got? Here's that camera. Let's see if it works. A little dark. And there's, it's got those tear things. Let's see, a little letter opener to do that. My fingers are already kind of torn up. But you could do that with a finger. Surprise, surprise. And if it goes straight up, yeah, Jet KVM. He actually asked me if I wanted this, and with a little bit of contemplation on the phone, I said yes. And then I later asked him. He probably put tape on it. Later I asked him, does that one have a pass-through video? And no, it does not. And apparently we're not there yet. Some of you who have been watching his KVM reviews already knew that. Most likely. So then, since that, man, that thing is heavy. I remember hearing him say that. I'm not going to fire it up now. I know it's out of focus, but you know the word Jet KVM. Thank you, Carrie. But since clarifying that it does not have pass-through video, I was contemplating what to do, where I would use it, and because it's very rare that I need to get into BIOS on a computer, and most of my clients, it's so easy to drive to them because I'm not in the environment he's in, where it's long distance, just about always. So connecting that to a computer so that I could connect remotely to it means they're not going to be able to have a monitor on site. And I have one computer where that is the case, that they don't have a monitor there. I can connect to it remotely with LogMe and Rescue. But when would I ever need to be able to access it before the operating system? And it's still a head scratcher for me. That office might be the one. It's a NVR, network video recorder, NDR. whatever. It's networked video cameras. That might be a place to do it. Now, I tried doing the nano KVM there, and I was having troubles with the keyboard not working. So I just bailed on it because that place is a 10-minute drive. So I'm a little more eager for the video pass-through. Now, I thought that I might have a use for this myself here, because I have a purpose to have a computer upstairs without a monitor that I want to connect to remotely. But why not just use my LogMe and Rescue? Why having the extra device, the extra wires, that doesn't work, because that purpose up there, just having it stand alone there and be on Wi-Fi with the only cable going to a webcam is the easy way. What is going on in chat? I don't know. I'm not going to try to figure that out. Emails. Okay, I'm going to flag that email from Sam for today's show. It just gives me a way to keep track of what emails were addressed on what shows. Oh, Jim and Maggie Lancy from last week with the Bluetooth stereo issue, or Bluetooth receiver, whatever that gadget was called. Yeah, I can show this. That's big enough. Says, Doug, you are never going to believe what happened. Maggie did a C cleaner, not CC cleaner, C cleaner. They said you have some outdated drivers. She went to what drivers they were, and one of them said Bluetooth. She went to Bluetooth in the device manager and right-clicked on it. It said update the driver, and it came up with the generic adapter. We tested it, and now I have music from my stereo. Wow! Thanks again for your help. You never know what may come in the future. I think that's just one of those catchy saying things that he has on the end of all of his emails. Wow, a significant lesson there. I mean, how often do I come across trying to fix a computer that's using an operating system that it wasn't even designed for originally? There were no drivers. So how did it say it had outdated drivers when we had installed the most current driver for that adapter? At least close to the most current. I think we didn't try the Intel updater thing, and it was an Intel adapter, I believe. The updated driver that it installed was the generic adapter. Well, okay, it does kind of make sense. The Windows 10 generic Bluetooth adapter would be newer than the Windows 8 specific adapter, or Windows 7 or whatever version that adapter came from, that driver came from, because it came from, what was it, Dell? I think it was Dell. No, HP EliteBook laptop. So we had updated beyond. No, we had updated to, when we updated it to that old operating system driver that came from HP, which was older than the generic adapter for Windows 10. So I'm thinking we may have been able to fix it simply by uninstalling the adapter, the Bluetooth adapter for that computer and restart it. And on restart, it should come up with a generic adapter, I think. So that's kind of a lesson in my mind. Okay. Next. Thank you, Jim and Nancy. In case you are listening, I don't think they listen on watch the show on any regular basis, but very enjoyable couple. I enjoyed them. Then the next one here. See, yep, all of this is safe. I got a Amazon gift card from somebody that I'm going to have to assume is part of the community, because he didn't identify himself or herself. It's a quite generous gift card. Thank you. And I sent a thank reply, but without him or her claiming who they are. And this is my reply. Oh, I gotta get to the actual original thing that was sent. And then the reply should come second. I probably already blew it. Where is it? Did I not have that bit? Oh, that was that was just the thank you. Okay, so that's what happened. Now I'm going to show you the original. I go search Amazon in my emails. There. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and reveal the amount too. I don't know if it's okay to reveal amounts. So nice looking Christmas card there. Hello, homie. So there's a clue. Hope you enjoy this gift card. $100. Thank you very much. Claim code. Once you applied your gift card balance. Oh, that is all of it. No, there's something else. Hope you enjoy this gift card. Where was the other thing that was said? There's something more. There's more to it than that. Wasn't there? What was it? Oh, there it is. There it is. It's in the subject line. I usually try not to show the subject line because it includes addresses, but that's okay in this case. Sleepy and Indy. Clue. And the closest dwarf planet to Earth. Sent you an Amazon gift card. Okay. So how does Doug deal with that? Closest dwarf planet to Earth. So then I go, let's see, I can go straight to that, right? Yeah. Go to the magnifying glass. Paste that. Decoding gift card subject line. So I had a little conversation. And the answer to the riddle is Ceres. Ceres is the only dwarf planet located in the inner solar system. Because I'm trying to figure out what in the heck does this part mean? Why say closest dwarf planet on Earth? So it's from Sleepy and Indy and also from the closest dwarf planet to Earth. So that's where I come up with my response. Kind of like, what are those two? The magician, Fool Us, and Penn and Teller, where he gives a riddle in response to the magician that gives the clue that they figured it out. So I say, Enigma code cracked. Enigma was the Germans' code machine that was broken by Russians or whoever it was in World War II. Thank you to Siri, because that person who I'm thinking it was has an iPhone. And I even checked to prove that by looking at his contact and my number. If it has FaceTime, that means he has an iPhone. All right, that's enough of that one. He thought he was going to keep me up at night trying to figure that one out. You just know it. So got Jim and Maggie. Got that one. Got the partner program thing on. Oh, then now this one I don't think I'm going to show because I don't know this person. I recognize the name, but I don't know this person well enough. I just want to acknowledge. I haven't seen his name in chat, but I don't know if his YouTube channel name is the same as what he's signing his name. So I'll just give the initials of CW. Very nice email. Thank you so much. And it is the first communication that I've received back about my new focus, Windows support providers. In the email, he was recollecting it as Windows support professionals, but I'm staying away from the word professional because I want to include those who are doing Windows support, to providing Windows support to people without getting paid, without billing. Super kind message, not just kind but supportive. He was liking this new focus or intentional focus. So it's just making mention of that. It gives me another opportunity to just underline it, underscore that. That is very clear intention on my part to try to provide content, and hopefully only content that is of interest to Windows support providers in such a way that people would get to a point saying, I don't want to miss any of them, because you'll pick up something here and there, or you'll see me learn something new. And that can include stuff about actual fixes for computers. That include the actual business logistics. I talk about billing sometimes, and client interaction, so the human element. And what is this one? Oh, this is, I guess this was the other. Did I not give this part added? Oh, this is more. Could have tried to. Oh no, that's the one we already read. So that covers them all. All right, 12 minutes to go. Okay, no new comments. I was looking to see if anybody has comments on videos asking for chat room approval. And then there was a new person in chat. Where was that? Where's that name at? It's in green. So it shouldn't be too hard to spot. Oh, wait a minute. No, green is a member. And so actually not just newly approved, but they are an approved person plus join the membership.
Read chat, please.
If you're still here, speak up in chat so I can find you. I don't know. Seldom. I've been seeing occasional very brief video pauses. I don't know if they're at my end. I'm looking. I have 0 dropped frames. All of my stats. Oh, let's see. What is this? Frames missed due to rendering lag, 28, which is 0.0%. Skipped frames due to encoding lag. There's been 19 of those, which is 0.0%. And both of those, no, they didn't just increment. The numbers that are incrementing is the total number of each of those two elements. Yeah, so I don't think that's enough to cause anything. Skips right over my comment in orange. Did you change the outro? Yeah, I changed it. It was changed last week. I told you that. You didn't go back and look. There's Jenny. There's Prime. What's all this going on with the numbers? Okay. Think it through, Doug. Is there anything else I intended to cover? This weekend is mostly about this client. Then I have next up to bat is a law office where their time and billing program is time slips, and they've got an update to the time entry part of their program. In order for our users to use that, I first have to upgrade their base installation of that product. All of their computers in their office are due for new computers. I have the new computers here. And there's a deadline for that new billing implementation, which is early January. So they're next on my list, prioritized due to urgency. I had the client that referred this client to me, the one that I referred to as the referral engine. He texted me this morning because I've got 5 computers here for one of his businesses. He owns 3 or 4 businesses. 4. And he asked, "Good morning, did the computers come in for," and he names the particular business that he's inquiring about. Well, those computers came in quite a long time ago. And there have been other people that have been moved in front of him. Now, this is a little story about client interactions, about managing expectations. Very commonly, when I bring on a new client, I let them know that I prioritize what I do based upon urgency level. It's not first in, first out. It's not first come, first serve. It's by urgency level. And you, Mr. New Client, are going to be very happy for that when you come across an urgent situation and you need to be moved to the front of the line right now, because I do that. So here's my response to him. He asked, "Did the computers come in?" I said, "Yes, and you are not forgotten. I'm incredibly swamped and prioritizing by urgency of need. Your last referral for," I told you this was his bookkeeper, "is on plate currently because I've got to get those done before tax season, long enough before tax season to deal with software upgrades. So I'm sorry she got moved ahead of you in line. After that, I have an attorney's office that has a January deadline for a software upgrade for their main time and billing software, and their computers have to be replaced before that software can be installed. If you have any issue at your company, the one that I have computers here for, that is pressing, like a computer that's not working well for a person to be able to do that work, please speak up and let me know. Unlike some businesses that say first come, first serve, I do not use that model. And that becomes important to you when you have a crisis and you need to be moved to the front of the line. So that is my style, my technique, my strategy of managing expectations and keeping things calm." He responded, "Oh no, you know that whenever you have time, we're good. I was just thinking about this morning, but thank you for getting back to me." So when somebody asks a question like that, you could be feeling pressure, stress. Oh no, they're upset. No, I was just thinking about it. And I respond again, "Absolutely, anytime, and thank you again so much for the referrals. Not that I was struggling for more work to do, but who can say no to that? Well, I have at times in the past. I have said no to new clients. Yeah, Brian, responding to something crazy. I do have excellent word of mouth referral, but I've been a long time at it. But I did fairly significant advertising, traditional advertising, because the internet didn't exist when I started my business. I advertised in 2 phone books. It was over $1,000 a year for each of those. I advertised in 2 local newspapers. I advertised in classified ads. I went to community events. I got heavily involved with Leads Club and Chamber of Commerce. I taught Fresno Adult School classes, not for the money, but for the exposure. I provided content for local news media. And it was probably about 4th or 5th year when I had started declining new clients, that I eventually decided to stop paying all that advertising money. I kept the advertising going on long after significant amount of time after I couldn't handle any more business. Indianapolis was not allowed. I tried, they rejected me. Whatever. I don't know what that is. Is he going to try to figure it out at the last minute? Okay. I do believe I've covered everything. If I've missed anything, this is the time to speak up. I'm not looking up, I'm looking around and looking down to see if there's other things for me to cover, and specifically not looking up because somebody who's sleepy. Oh, by the way, the sleepy in Indy, that came because I had recently teased him for routinely sleeping in past noon. So I got you figured. I think everybody knows who this is. Speak up or look up? Are you implying, Ken Stout, that I said the wrong word? I feel like I should have put out some more points. Yeah, all right, so let's go ahead and end. By the time the outro ends, it'll be time, right? So here's the email address if you want to send a question. That's the best way to do it. Give me as much detail that you care to. The more detail you give, the better response that I can give. You can ask questions with comments on any of my videos, and you can ask questions in the chat room. Oh, there's Ben Laird. Ben Laird. He's in green. Ben Laird, boom. Glad you came in. Boom, you're a moderator. Get over it. If that bothers you, get over it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any moderating. It just says that we know that you're a good guy. All right, so here's that button. Turn that thing off. Wait for that thing to there to finish. Almost done. There. Here we go. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Today is a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries, with friends who are here find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in, days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply more deeply VB, where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme.